All right, welcome everyone to episode. You fucking ruined everything. It's over. We have to start the whole show over again.
Sorry.
Jesus.
We have to go out and rewatch the movie.
Yeah, we have to rewatch the movie again.
For a fourth time.
Fourth time. So welcome to the Good, the Bad, and the Geeky. This should be episode 364, but if it isn't, well, sorry. I don't care. Also, I like how they number things. Yeah, nerds. Yippee. We have a great slew of guests on today's episode. Going around the table from me left to right. Sorry, I surprised you with the water drink.
That's fine.
Yeah, we have.
Hi, my name is Erik.
Hi, I'm Becky.
And I'm Travis.
And you all know me, so I don't have to say it. But we're going to talk about some of those wars in the stars, in particular, Episode 8 of Star Wars The Last Jedi. But before we begin, please be sure to check out Pack Rat Comics. Visit our show notes for more information or check them out online at packratcomics.com. If you want to throw some love our way and, well, support us and get awesome audiobooks at the same time, with over 200,000 titles to choose from, Audible is where it's at. You can sign up for a 30-day trial and a free audiobook of your choice by going to audibletrial.com/goodbadgeeky. They have one of the books over there is Stephen Fry reading Doyle's Sherlock Holmes collection, which is pretty cool. Also, do you like improv? Do you like love? Of course you like love. You're a human being that thinks, feels, laughs, cries, hurls, and poops. And you love animals because they can also be soft and cuddly. But the most important thing out of all those things I just said there, outside of pooping, because everyone does that, is that human beings, you have the feels. So that means FFN's Date Night 2018 is for you. It's a month or two off, but why not get started off right and get your tickets now? FFN's Date Night 2018 features Mad Lab. I have 17 on there. I almost fucked that up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was like, travel back in time for last year's show. I was in that show, though. I was one of the guests. That was a lot of fun.
I did not play you, though.
No, you...
I played Keith.
You played Keith. That's what it was. And Vicky played Sarah.
Yeah.
And who fucking played me? I don't know him that well. Stout. Okay.
Because you got put in jail for paper towels.
Yeah. I had one of my little things that drives my wife nuts is I will pull out multiple more paper towels than I need, and then when I'm done, I'll take care of the plates, but I'll leave the paper towel behind. And she goes, it's his tokens of love.
Philistine.
And so apparently he robbed a paper towel building or something. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Yeah, because I wanted to give her all the tokens of love, which actually was something I would do.
We will do your love life just that accurate.
That's how accurate it is, folks. So if you want more information, go to madlab.net/tickets.html. And the dates are February 8th, 9th, 10th, 14th, 16th, and 17th. Showtime start at 8 p.m. And again, FFN's Date Night 2018.
I think there's 3 more dates.
Oh, is there? There was another date in December, but I didn't know if that was right or not from the website.
Yeah, I think we could one more weekend after that, actually.
Oh, do you? Well, Nick might have fucked that up. As we find out, we'll just...
23rd and 24th.
23rd and 20... Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, yeah.
23rd and 24th as well?
It owns my February.
Okay. Yeah, 8th, 9th, 10th, 14th, 16th, 17th, 23rd, 24th. And finally, we are proud members of the It's All Been Done Presents Network. And speaking of that network, It's All Been Done Radio Hour is a modern scripted comedy show in the style of old-timey serials and is the flagship of the network. Their next live performance is Saturday, January 13th and February 10th. Admission is $7, $5 for seniors and students. Also come hear me, Jimmy, Nathan do GBG live, and that starts around 5:15 or so. Get your tickets at madlab.net/tickets.html. Past episodes are available for the podcast. It's all been done anyway, so check them out at iabdpresents.com. All right, I'll talk about Star Wars. We're going to get into some spoilers. And let me just start. You know what? If you don't believe me, 3, 2, 1, Luke dies. Fuck you if you didn't heed my warning on that. Snoke dies. Yoda shows up. Anything else we should ruin right away for everybody because you're not paying. What the fuck?
I don't know.
Leia uses the Force.
I think Leia's always used the Force.
Rey's parents are nobody.
Oh, we did. Yes. Okay.
Rey's parents are nobody.
Okay.
I love that.
I did too. Can we? Okay. Sorry. Let's talk about this real quickly. Her parents are nobody. I think that was not part of the plan. But I like it.
Well, they said that JJ and Ryan both agreed on who they both had the same idea for who her parents were.
Okay, that's awesome because I kind of feel like JJ might change in the next one. I hope
it fits with JJ though of having a mystery box that doesn't pay off into something huge though. So perfect.
You know what? Let's talk about that a little bit more. And you know what? So here's episode.
Let's do it.
Yeah, boom! Good, the Bad, and the Geeky episode. The Star Wars: The Last Jedi theme song.
Hit it.
So, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen it yet, so no spoilers.
You haven't, so no spoiler.
Damn it, Sternberger.
Actually, I think you and me have seen it twice.
That's true. We have.
We have, and I know Travis and Becky have only seen it once. Matter of fact, I was with them when they saw it the first time.
Yes, you were.
Indeed.
And then I was in pain the next day when I got up at 9:20 to see it. That was a long day, but
Yeah,
again,
it's 8:30 in the morning with Sean for the second one.
oh, that's it. Then did you? But we saw it the night before, so literally it went from a 10:55 showing, sleep, wake up super early, Star Wars: Last Jedi again.
I took a day in between.
That was probably good too.
Oh, two days.
That less than 12 hours. I mean, that's a lot of concentrated Star Wars.
Yeah. So just to bust out the plot real quick as fast as we can, so then we can get right into the meat of it. Last Jedi takes up probably about what it feels like a few hours to a few days after the last movie.
Yeah, and I think that's a piece of contention.
That's true. Editing wise, yeah.
I feel like that'll be something we can talk about at some point. But yeah,
but the First Order finds out where the rebel base is that was at the end of The Force Awakens, and they're after him to go blow it up. And there's some other stuff, but long story short, it's the rebellion side with Poe, Finn, and Leia, and all the other characters, and then it's just Rey with Luke. And then at some point they diverge upon themselves, and then it becomes a mixture at the end. But it's really kind of separated into two kind of films almost at the same time. Yeah.
2.5 almost.
Yeah. So with that being said, let's just go from there. What was everyone's general thoughts? So like for Eric and I, the first time we saw it, and then for you guys, what was the general vibe when you left the theater? Good or for ill? What was it?
It was a very busy film.
I agree with that.
It was, but I liked it. I mean, I walked out really, really happy and trying to figure out where it fit for me. And I'm still not exactly sure the jostling of my top 4 Star Wars films, but it's in the top 4.
Wow, okay. And Becky, what about you?
I really liked it. I don't know exactly where it falls in my list of best to worst, but it's definitely top half. Okay. Maybe top third.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I need to see it again.
No,
there's
you do.
There's a lot there, a lot to. I'm still. It's been several days, and I'm still kind of percolating and processing. And
for me, the first time I saw it, I walked out the middle of the film. I was like, I don't kind of like where this is going, except for when Luke would show up. And then when Luke would show up, I would just be like, oh, happy place. And then everything else, I was like, I don't really like where this is going, or it just doesn't feel right. And then by the end of it, I was like, sold.
Yeah,
but
I feel like there were times, and I think that's the problem there were times on my first viewing where I was waiting for moments that I knew were going to fucking happen because they were in the trailer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where is Crate? How do they get to Crate? They're all on a spaceship.
Yeah.
And so
also, they're on a spaceship a lot.
Right. Yeah. So it felt like it took a while. And on my second viewing, I was able to kind of just relax and know it was coming. and it fixed the pacing for me on a second viewing. Because I think the problems I had with it the first time was because I knew things were coming and I wanted to get to them. If I hadn't seen the previews and didn't know that those other things were coming, I wonder if I'd have a different experience.
Yeah, because I will say, for me, even after the second time, my biggest problem with the film is the stuff with Finn and Rose and the rebellion. Not to say I don't enjoy it, but the pacing it feels a little off. So even though I enjoyed the pacing the second time around, there was just little things, and I also now appreciate why we have to do that. So the stuff, so Rose kind of throws that. So there are kind of multiple themes going on. The biggest theme, though, surprisingly, is about failure. Failure is kind of what the whole movie's about, and at least that's what I took from it, because it's about Luke failing Kylo. It's about Kylo failing Snoke. It's about Snoke failing Kylo. It's about the rebellion failing the universe in kind of in a roundabout way, because things never really... everyone's failing everybody. And in particular, in the main thrust of things, it's Poe is making poor decisions. He's succeeding but failing at the same time. Or in some cases, Finn and Rose, they just fucking flat out fail.
In the short game.
In the short game, yeah.
In the long game, they might have won.
Right. Yeah. Well, that and Luke doing their thing at the end that was officially the spark. I would say they began to light it up a little bit, and then Luke was truly the spark at the end of the film. But I didn't catch that till the second time around, because I was like, why are we going back to the little boy again? Fuck that. Oh, he used the broom. Ooh.
He's force sensitive.
And then the second time, I'm like,
he's the future.
Yeah, he's the future.
He's force sweeping.
Yeah, he's force sweeping. But it really, yeah, man. And okay, so I'll throw this out here. Fans either love this movie or they hate this movie. Matter of fact, Eric, before you got here, we were kind of talking like there's like a lot of, there's no middle ground. Like I kind of feel like I walked out even the second time like I like the film. I don't love it, but it's not like prequel bad either to me. No. To me. But like it's nowhere. But it also validates the prequels in a weird way. Mm-hmm. And now my wife wants to kind of watch them because she still hasn't seen the prequels. I've been.
She doesn't need to.
I know that, but she kind of wants to.
Well, and here's the thing, and was it Slash Film? I think I read earlier today.
Yeah,
pointed out the fact that the prequels were not poorly reviewed. It's only people looking back at them, and you see a lot of the flaws. Like at the time, people didn't hate them. People hated elements of them, but nobody shit on them as a whole.
Well, that's true. Like the box office continued to just get huge. It's like the Transformers movies. Mm-hmm. Everyone I know that sees a Transformer movie, they continue to go like the box office keeps getting bigger and bigger. But then everyone's like, "I hate the movie." Well, then why are you people saying? But that's what I'm saying.
Star Wars see 5.
Well,
hate watching is a big industry.
That's so weird, though. I feel like a lot of people hate watch this movie. I don't understand.
For a completist,
yeah.
Like I had to watch all of the prequels just so that I could see, see what happened. And although they lost me at midichlorians, I'm still angry about that. Well,
they kind of, again, that's one of the things I thought was really cool. Like Luke just goes, the Jedi are nothing but failures. I am a failure. Like, and I'm just going like, whoa. And he's like, you want to know what failure is? It's the Jedi Order. We failed to find Sidious, a.k.a. Palpatine, and then by that it bred my father, and then I had the hubris to think I'm the legend Luke Skywalker. And I'm like,
he's not wrong.
No, not at all. And that's why I'm like, holy shit. Okay, now here's the other thing, too. A lot of people are pissed about Yoda. Like, they love Yoda. Puppet Yoda back. Yay, Puppet Yoda. Yep. But then they got pissed. It's like, so he can interact with shit? Why didn't he just stop everything from happening? And then also, like, he didn't really stop everything from happening. I was like, but the concept is still the same. Like, through failure, you learn better things. And
exactly.
Oh, like, there's so many things. I love that. That was one of my favorite scenes. Like,
I love that.
I teared. I actually teared up hardcore when you guys. So Becky, Travis, and I saw it on Friday. I was trying not to cry loudly during the Yoda scene because it was. I thought it was fucking beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I got a little misty.
The attitude that he espouses there about the failure, I mean, that I could easily see forming for him as far back as, Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith.
Yes.
I think he already felt like the Jedi were failing themselves even at that point.
Right.
So,
I figured there's multiple reasons he went to hide out on Dagobah. Not just, I need to hide because Vader's going to come and kill me.
And I will say this, what people are missing is the fact that Yoda did not interact directly. He manipulated the Force to act.
That is true. Yeah. I agree with that.
Which completely fits within what has been established. He doesn't go up and take the thing from Luke and throw...
And really, in the grand scheme of things, he is only proving a point because he didn't really destroy shit. He just destroyed the temple where they were housed. Mm-hmm. Because as you learn, Rey already had the text.
Right.
Yep.
So, and also, which is, again, this is the theme of the thing, let the past die. Kill it if you have to. That's the only way to become what you were meant to be. And so... I took that whole scene of Yoda going, yeah, you are the last Jedi, but that's not a bad thing. Like, there will be more Jedi, but it won't be of what we were before, which is we weren't. So does that mean there's a weird, like, Uber Jedi where they can do a little bit of both? Like, they are truly balanced with the Force? I mean, that's
like
a concept.
That's where they need to go.
I mean...
like a Mace Windu with his purple lightsaber.
Exactly.
Remember the unfortunately it no longer exists, but was it the Star Wars Legacy Dark Horse comics?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
those were so good. If you ever have a chance, it's like a 1,000 years or something in the future. It's like Luke Skywalker's great grandson or something.
Well, yeah, all that stuff is because I mean. They would also do some of the expanded universe, the novel stuff where Mara Jade and is it Mara or Mara?
Yeah,
but they would do that. They would do the Palpatine clone and all kinds of crazy, and of course the twins, which brought balance. Han and Leia's twins, which is What?
No, I was going.
Oh, no. Okay, did anyone have problems with Adam Driver in this movie? Because that's a lot of people are shitting on Adam Driver.
Actually, I liked it better than I did in Force Awakens.
I
agree.
I agree. I mean, he didn't blow me away as in like, oh my god, like Mark Hamill at the end of this movie was like, if this dude doesn't get more fucking acting jobs, I'm gonna cry. Well, but here's the thing, he might not want him either because he is more in the voiceover realm now, really, and successful at it, and he doesn't need to. I don't feel he's got that Star Wars money again, but but I mean, really, at the end of the day, like if the dude wanted more acting jobs and he doesn't get more acting jobs after this movie, to me, like that's a goddamn crime.
Did you see his how he basically went full on Harrison Ford in like the interviews for the movie?
Oh,
it was beautiful.
Anytime he does Harrison Ford,
tell us something about the movie, Mark. It's longer. He was giving like the worst information to people.
Well, it's because he can't.
Oh no,
his role is actually anything he talks about is spoiler.
Which was beautiful. The fact that he was going straight up Harrison Ford.
Well, I thought you were actually talking about his impression of Harrison Ford, which is also legendary.
Oh well, yeah,
which is because he talked about it was on Graham Norton's show. It was like him, Gwendolyn Christie, John Boyega, and then and Daisy. I can't think of her last name. Daisy Ridley. And they're sitting there talking, and he's like, how do you guys all keep secrets? And she's like, Mark has a great one, which is, back then we didn't have the internet, but so it was way harder. And apparently Krishner came up, and he's like, only George Lucas and I know this, so if it leaks, we know it was you. Which is, we're going to dub over this line, which is the line originally was, Obi-Wan killed your father.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, no. And so they played the whole scene. He's like, we're just going to overdub that with Luke, I am your father. And so he's like, oh no, I talk in my sleep, I do all kinds of stuff. And he's like, if you tell Carrie, you tell the world. So he can't tell he can't tell his wife, he didn't tell anybody. And Harrison Ford apparently thought like they were close enough that he would tell him. And after the premiere of Empire, he's like, fuck kid, you didn't fucking tell me that. Something like that. It was a dead on impersonation. And then he goes, he's like, you do Harrison Ford, does he like it? And he's like, I fucking sound nothing like that, Mark. Like, it's really funny. I'm not doing it any justice, but he does a really good Harrison Ford. So that's what I thought you were saying at first. No. But he has. Like, I watched it because I like some of the, just see Mark work as impress mode is epic because he kind of trolls fans too.
He does,
but he kind of has to, which is like
and Ted Cruz.
Yeah. So he's just like Mark. Like Gwendolyn Christie starts talking about Captain Phasma. She almost ruins that she dies or something. Or something. We don't know if she's dead. She probably is dead, but we don't know because we thought she died in the last movie. For God's sake.
Well, in the comic, that was really easily explained. Was that
the
during
trash
the attack? The wall got blown out from the attack. So she walked out. It's like,
of course,
it's pretty simple. It's like, well,
sure, that's
you are under attack. Things are going to be collapsing.
That makes sense.
But she almost ruined like some major part. Like her and Finn, like the wall fell underneath her, and he just interrupted. He's like, but helmets are an amazing thing about foreshadowing and about character, and saves her from it. And then Boyega and the girl who plays Rose are kind of like, no, tell us more about whatever.
Yeah,
but it was just really, he just completely did and he's like, no, it's fascinating about helmets and how visages and all that. Go ahead. Like, I was like, wow, Mark, you saved her there a little bit. But I thought Mark Hamill was amazing. I thought Adam Driver wasn't horrible.
I liked him.
I thought you did a good job. I liked, as Travis said, I liked him this time around way better than the first time.
And I thought he was doing a good job, too, of still subtly dealing with his wounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't like Pierce Brosnan hurt acting, or
yeah.
You ever watch Brosnan's Bond when he's like in pain? It's just so much pain.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. I love it. But I mean, it's like subtle in the fact that it was like, oh crap, he's still got that limp. It's like that's right, he got shot in like the abdomen and
things.
I will say maybe it took me out of it and it wasn't the movie's fault, but my one friend Nathan, I don't know if you guys even heard it, he was making comments throughout the movie.
No, I didn't.
Oh, thank God. When Driver, and it was, and the ones, I mean, I guess out of context, and if you just take the performance out of context, it sounds cheesy. But in that final battle on Crate, when he confronts Luke, the first thing he starts screaming, I don't remember what it was, but Nathan's like, oh my God, that's so stupid and cheesy. Like, I was like, shut the fuck up, dude. I'm trying to enjoy them. It took me out for a second, and I was like, that is kind of cheesy. Again, out of context. Yeah. And second time, I was like, this is amazing. Like, wonderful performances between the two of them.
Well, especially when you realize the history between them about the fact that, from his perspective, Luke tried to kill him.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, they didn't say it in the movie officially, but do you think that was their way of saying things are always different from a certain point of view? Like,
point of view.
Yeah,
You're
point of view.
not saying perhaps that is the one of 3 Kurosawa movies they reference with Rashomon, are you? Because there's Rashomon, Ryan, and Seven Samurai all in this one.
Yes, that is what I meant by that.
That's what I thought. Because you have the 3 points of view of the truth.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah. Well, I was just going like, because that's a big line. Well, Lucas said, and I'm surprised I'm saying this, Lucas always says in all the films, even the bad one, like people don't like the prequels and even the original, there's rhyme and reason to everything that's happening. It's like a poem. And so like you hear constant reoccurring rhymes themes, which is, I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah.
Do you know who says that in this film?
BB-8.
Yep.
It took me the second time to see it, but BB-8 says it. It's during the fight at the beginning with Poe, because he's beeping, and I was like, in my head I was just like, because half the time I'm like, I don't know what the fuck the droids are saying, except for C-3PO and R2-D2. I just know that fucking droid is cussing at C-3PO, and at this point he's like, watch your language. I was like, yay.
But yeah, BB-8 said the one thing at one point, and Poe responds to him of like, don't worry, buddy, we got this.
yeah, and then but there's also the line too, which I think was in A New Hope, but was kind of rebuilt upon, things are always different from a certain point of view. And I think Yoda says it again, doesn't it? Is it Jedi or I thought someone else said it again.
It was Obi-Wan and Jedi.
Oh, it was Obi-Wan and Jedi that said it?
Yeah.
For some reason I thought he said it
sense.
in New Hope though or something. But
What I told you was true from a
certain point of view.
From a certain point of view.
There it is.
Wow, there we go. Jesus. That's pretty good. Like
you crushed that, Becky.
Yeah. All right, Star Wars, Obi-Wan, tryouts, Becky, go.
No.
But I thought that was a neat way of what because they actually showed what Rey thinks happened from the way Luke told her. We see Kylo's, and then we see Luke's perspective of it, which I thought was really, as I think Rashomon, which was again really cool. And also, I didn't catch it the second time, but how Luke looks at the end. I already knew Luke looked a little different. Yeah. But Luke looks how Kylo remembers him being.
Yeah.
And that's because he looks like Return of the Jedi Luke, but just with a beard.
Yeah.
And he still looks nice and thin, and
he isn't leaving any footprints.
I caught that right away.
I caught that right away too. And I'm like, why isn't he leaving footprints?
He's not touching him. Why isn't he blocking with his saber?
Oh my god. And
why did he have a blue lightsaber?
Because that's what Kylo remembered. Yeah.
But he had a green one when he tried to kill him.
That's true. But again, I took that as another clue to the audience. Like, if you're not paying attention to that, you saw the lightsaber destroyed.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the very clear, like, the hint to the audience. Now, outside of that, in terms of why he chose that for Kylo, maybe it's also because it was his first lightsaber for him, which was his father's, which Kylo would probably also... Again, this is me trying to put subtext into the movie that was probably not there. That's a good actual question. But for me, I would be like, well, that's actually cement. I was like, oh, that's Rey's lightsaber, and it got broken during the battle between her and
I kind of wanted it to be the green one as well, but...
Oh, I mean, yeah.
The blue one was Anakin's originally, and since, Kylo Ren worships Darth Vader, like, there's kind of that layer, too.
Right, but, oh, man, that was just so... I mean, and the weird thing they did with the AT-ATs... where they made them look like gorillas almost with the blast shields on the legs.
So they could brace themselves. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, when they were...
That takes care of, like, the wobbly.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Which, now, did anyone have problems with the hyperdrive stuff, where they were tracking via hyperdrive?
I mean, it seemed very Battlestar Galactica to me.
Okay.
Well...
okay. I didn't think about that, but that was from...
But the seed for that was planted in
Rogue One.
In Rogue One.
When they're going through the list of all the things
they
have.
Projects and stuff.
Like Black Saber, which is in Rebels. And then, and see, I thought it was a throwaway line.
What was that?
Tracking through hyperspace, I think is what they said.
What was that project called?
It was part of the Tarkin Initiative.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I can't remember which one.
Now, did anyone have a problem with, again...
Well, here's my only problem with the hyperspace.
Yeah.
The next movie, they need to have found a way to block it.
Oh, I agree.
Because otherwise, that breaks the structure if you can always track someone through hyperspace.
Unless the only prototype for it was on Snoke's ship.
Right.
Which is what they thought.
Well, no, because they said it could transfer to any lead ship.
Okay.
Oh, right. So that's why it was imperative that they just needed to get it the hell away so they can't figure out where they are.
Instead of blowing it up.
Right.
And if we may, we don't have to do it now, but at some point, can we talk Snoke? Can we talk about that, please?
I definitely.
I mean, I feel
we
like
have a motion on the floor for Snoke.
Yeah, motion on the floor.
Any objection?
Second?
Motion passes.
Okay. Motion passes. All right. Well, this is your initiative, sir. You lead us.
I guess that my initial volley is WTF, honestly.
Okay, so you are probably not a fan of the proponent that Snoke got taken care of.
Well, I don't know if I'm a proponent or
You're for or against. You just feel very. You're not sure how to
you
feel.
set that up for what exactly? That's my issue with that.
I have another thought on that.
Here's why it bothers me less and less the more I think about it. It did. I mean, my back lizard brain, I want to know where the First Order came from. I want to know how this is formed. I do. And mostly it's because of the Aftermath books and the Battlefront game and stuff all leads up to a certain point with Project Resurrection and how they're creating the First Order.
Yeah.
But then it just stops when they get to the uncharted, areas and stuff. So I want to know that, but it doesn't bother me because I feel like that was only a mystery box for us. Everyone else in that universe, it wasn't a mystery to them who Snoke was. So that's why it doesn't bother me. Like, to Ridley, who gives a shit? To Rey, it's like, who gives a shit who Snoke is?
Yeah.
Because the First Order came up, it came through this thing. It's not a mystery to her if it ties into somebody else that she doesn't know who the shit Darth Plagueis the Wise is or something, She doesn't care. So, to me, it's like, it didn't bother me in context of the film. As an audience member, I still want to know. But as far as the characters go, it wasn't a mystery to them, so it didn't bother me. And one thing I loved about when he got the lightsaber straight through him.
Yeah.
Did you notice it also left his hand on the throne? So he had a hand cut off.
Yes.
In Star Wars again.
Nice.
Yeah, it was very because he was leaning forward and
it was a hand left.
Well, okay, so this kind of goes into the whole complaint, if I have a complaint with the movie, which is I feel like J.J. Abrams set up a bunch of shit, which he's always good at doing and never paying off, but usually he is still somehow kind of tied to it outside of, you know what I mean?
He's a producer.
He's a producer, but not like Lost with executive producing, where he just walks away and it's like, what are you guys doing for the end? Oh, yeah, that sounds great. Go for it.
Or Alias with multiple, I think he had a literal puzzle mystery box in Alias.
Yeah.
Plus a time jump where he let someone else figure out.
Right. So I feel like he walked away. So then Ryan came in.
Star Trek. You're a Klingon. Let's go.
But he very honestly, Ryan was like, you know what? I don't like what you and Lawrence and JJ I don't like what you set up, so I'm just going to completely rewrite it. And then they just happened to like everything he did, and they made the movie. So my question is that did Snoke survive that originally? Because I feel like in the perfect... Now, granted, I thought it was a nice callback to Yoda, when Luke met Yoda for the first time, but it goes into that first scene, and it's really the first clue that everything is not going to go the way you think it is, which ties into this, which is she hands the lightsaber to him, and he just is like, throws it over the shoulder. I felt like that's what Ryan did to J.J. Abrams. Everything he set up, including Snoke. I feel like came because after I saw that, I was like, oh, I think he's going to fucking kill Snoke. Killed Snoke. Well, fuck. I mean, that was a great scene. I loved it. But what the fuck was that? Oh, fuck.
And at the same point, though, I was like, really, the only way they can get out of this is if they kill Snoke, and they're not going. Oh shit, he's going to kill Snoke.
Which makes sense because doesn't.
And it has hints of Return of the Jedi a little bit in there too, which is nice.
Is it the prequel trilogies where they talk about with the Sith? There's always
two.
There's always two, and usually one betrays the other.
Yeah,
it's that's how they move.
They confirm that they hint at it, and I think in Jedi, because they make first nod to it as an Empire, but they officially say it in Jedi when I think he's being walked up on Endor. Yeah. He's like, there are always two. It's like, join me. You will kneel before the Emperor. He's like, no, I won't. I'm a Jedi like my father before me, and blah blah blah. But I feel like it ties into that though, because I feel like the whole movie is kind of set up that way. Everything that you were expecting from you, not have hints at, like little morsels at. Ryan was just like, that's not what I want to fucking do. We're just gonna go over here because fuck that. I kind of felt like that's what he did. Not literally, but it felt like that.
I felt like every time he did that, though, it built a character. It wasn't...
Yeah.
It wasn't just to zag for no point. Because it makes Kylo Ren a lot more interesting.
It does, but the problem is that, and again, but it ties into it, it's somebody's fault. And it might be more JJ's, or the fact that Kathleen Kennedy let things happen how they happened. But, like, you're setting up... Look, I love Lost like the next person, but they set up so many mysteries they didn't pay off, and I feel it's the same way here, which is, I want to know what Snoke's background is, too. And it's not like the Emperor was in the original saga. You could say that he was, but, like, the Emperor wasn't really there in Episode 4. Vader was. Vader was your face. Then you see one scene of him only.
They reference the Emperor.
They reference him, but you don't... That's what I'm saying, but, like, Snoke is a presence, and they introduce him, and then it creates the question of, well, what the hell is he? And that's my problem. Like, if Force Awakens was the middle movie, and then you killed him off at the beginning of I probably wouldn't have a problem with it. But see, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of I agree with Shaq. It's a weird thing. Like, I enjoy the scene. It builds Kylo up wonderfully. But I feel like, then why did you set him up that way in Force Awakens? Which goes into, I think Ryan was just like, I'm going to do my own thing.
I've been reading a little bit about this, and it's, I mean, as you can imagine, it's one of the hotly contested things about the friggin' movie.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
And I sort of fall on like I said, I fall on the what the fuck side of it. But there was a thing that I read saying that, sort of to what you were saying, is that as much as failure and as much as some of these other things, Luke's line of "this isn't going to go the way you think" could be like stamped on this movie as a theme.
For every single character in that scene, every single character, it goes differently. Rey doesn't get Kylo to turn. Kylo doesn't get Rey to turn,
and Snoke doesn't live.
Snoke doesn't live.
But here's the thing. I mean, they spent half the movie basically taking it along lines that were familiar, and then they threw a big monkey wrench into the middle of it. That's nice and everything, but why did you waste my first half of that movie on that, you know? I mean, couldn't you have done it from the beginning? Couldn't you have made an entirely different movie that went in a different direction instead of, you know, taking what J.J. Abrams did and in real time rip it to shreds?
Yeah, I think that's the problem. I think that people don't like with the movie. Maybe that's what it is, that they feel like things that were set up in the last movie, they're not... I don't know. Like, again, I like that it happened, but I still kind of feel like, why?
I
don't know.
Put the blame on fandom.
Yeah, I did see that one video you posted from, was it Bob? In Bob We Trust?
Yeah.
Which I don't disagree. That's what I'm saying. I'm in this weird place where I don't disagree with it.
I think I saw at least 15 articles from sites trolling for clicks on their Snoke theories in the last 2 years. Like, everybody was using who could Snoke be to get web traffic, and building this thing up so much where no one ever said, like, even Snoke, I feel like Rey was definitely a mystery box, but with Snoke, they never said it's a mystery who Snoke is. We made it a mystery.
That is true.
I feel like now, that being said, I still want to know how the First Order formed.
Yeah.
But Snoke was never set up as a mystery in the movies. It was a mystery for the fans because we felt like there needed to be a twist because Vader was Luke's father, so now we're always looking for that shit.
And also, if Palpatine was the last Darth Sith, and so was Vader by that matter, then where the hell did Snoke come from?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, just from a simple narrative structure, just from like continuity's sake, not just from fandom. I mean, fans can be annoying, and you know, but I mean, just for simple story structure, it just seems to fail.
The writer in me does kind of agree with that.
Now if the third one, if now Kylo's in charge and he has to figure out how to run this ship, if he goes to, you know, the uncharted regions to where Snoke is from to learn how this is put together or something on like his own like dark side journey, and we kind of figure it out that way, I think that could still pay off.
I also want to know like how Snoke turned Ben Solo.
Yes. I would like to see that too.
That was one of the things that was very interesting that they did establish about Snoke, is that he does have some... I mean, his powers are not Jedi, they're not Sith, they're telepathic. He himself is not a Sith.
Right.
Yeah.
So the way he did that was entirely outside of the system.
He reminds me a lot of like the Night Sisters.
What's the Night Sisters?
From Rebels, Clone Wars.
Oh, they're on the planet of the Sith, right? They guard
They're the ones
artifacts
who
of the Sith.
trained Maul.
Right. Okay.
Where they are a race that can manipulate the Force, but they're not Sith. They are Force witches, called the Night Sisters, and the Queen of the Night Sisters was Maul's mother, who gave him to Darth Sidious to train as a boy. Or actually, he took him.
It kind of, along those lines, it kind of reminds me in the Thrawn trilogy, those creatures on that planet that were Force resistant, or that you could be used as a shield against the Force.
Right. Or you've got, like, in the future ones, the Yukon Voth, or whatever they're called, over the... I can't think of the aliens invaders.
Well, don't they put the, have you watched Rebels any? I feel like they've made like hints of those. Like those were the little wolf rabbit things on the where's oh Jesus, I can't remember what's the Lothal. Yeah, thank you. Because I completely forgot everyone but Sabine. I forgot everyone's, because there's a lot of people saying Hodo, the general. Is it Hodo or Holdo? Holdo. Yeah. The only reason why fans would find her acceptable is if that's Sabine in disguise, like as like in an alias. I know it's not.
No. Because she's in the books as growing up with Leia.
So a lot of kind of ducktail back into the hyperspace thing. A lot of people were pissed at that too, which is like, why had that never been done before? And I was like,
because it was new technology. They were in the process of creating.
Well, no, hyperspace though has been around for a while.
Well, hyperspace has, but tracking.
Well, I think it's probably a rare situation where you had a flagship that you could do that with. Yeah. I mean, because if I'm not mistaken, isn't there one? I know one other instance somewhere in Star Wars lore. I can't remember where someone did that with like an A-wing or something.
Yeah, and
took out like one ship. One Star Destroyer. By going through the bridge at hyper speed.
Jesus, that was some beautiful filmmaking.
Yes.
Because everyone was just like, because even Nathan, who I feel was not enjoying the movie just because he's weird, he like literally when that happened, everyone was just like, and then it was like, and then he was like, oh wow,
yeah,
and same thing happened when I saw the next day, like everyone like was like, you could just hear them gasp. It was so beautiful. It was probably some of the best filmmaking in Star Wars.
Is a badass.
That's a bad
for
bitch.
doing that.
Okay, now
she a bad bitch.
With that being said, do we have all preferred if it might have been General Akbar? And that would have been a better death for Akbar, because, and again, I think that might be the fandom, because my first thing was like, did Akbar just bite it like that? That's shitty. Like we were watching, I was like, that's a shitty way to go.
Was not okay. Not okay.
It was a trap. They didn't have but the second time I was just like, that's still a punk ass way to go, and I was like, I kind of wish Akbar went that way instead. No offense to Laura Dern, I thought she did a good job. And I like the idea that there's a little bit more for Leia to kind of see, but I felt like you wouldn't have had to have built upon it more, or maybe that was the whole thing. Poe is being kind of sexist, that he doesn't trust Leia and he's not listening to Hoda. She's not listening to her.
To be fair, we don't know exactly what, if any, sex Akbar actually is, but I don't think you could really see him like mutinying against him.
No one's lifted the flap.
No.
I assume he has a flap.
Yeah.
No, I don't think Poe would have.
It's a flap. There it is. I lobbed that thing up. I lobbed that.
Yeah. Sorry, I just decided to stare at it for a bit, and I was like, "It's a flap. It's a flap." Someone should say that. Oh yeah, go.
It's a flap.
So, but I kind of took that too. For me, it was like, not only did Poe fail, which again is the theme, but I also kind of felt like he was. Part of me wondered if it was just because like he respects Leia, but at the same time, I feel it was like to me, it came off a little sexist, especially after she got put into power and he just refused to listen to her. And I understand.
Yeah, he'd been demoted. He was used to being in the inner circle, and then suddenly he wasn't anymore. And it's this woman, and he doesn't know who she is.
She has purple hair.
I also feel like Poe probably feels like he can get away with it with Leia because of Han. She's used to it. That's another thing, too. Like going back through all the movies, the only person who making a rash decision actually works out for is Han.
Yes.
Yep. Every other person that rushes into a decision just fucks things up. Yep. But Han,
it doesn't really always work out for him, but he's the one who takes the consequences for it. It's not everybody else.
And if he finds a way to somehow make it work.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, that was something else. So, like, the thing that just really irked me was, like, I appreciate let's get to with the casino on Binto. No, what is
Canto
it?
Bight.
Canto Bight.
Space Morocco.
Space Morocco. Yes.
With Justin Theroux.
With someone said
Justin Theroux that worked that Moz.
I remember when I saw it, I was like, oh sweet, it's a new Mos Eisley kind of. And then as it kept going, well, I mean, just when you first open the door, you see all the different aliens or whatever. I was like, I always loved that part of Star Wars,
Same
and
here.
I felt like, especially with The Force Awakens, because I feel like in the prequels, it just felt fake.
Yeah.
And
Well, because these were practical.
well, a
So
lot of these
many
were
of them were practical.
And so I guess for me, I was just like, it's that excitement for a second, and then I realized that for me, the pacing started to get a little off and whatnot.
They
And
said there were 220 practical creatures in this film, which is
insane.
almost double what JJ had.
Wow.
yeah.
Of course, 30 of those were the porks.
Did anyone hate the Jedi nurses, as I like to call them?
I loved them.
I actually thought they were very much in line of the old school Star Wars humor.
The Jedi nurses.
Yeah,
The caretakers.
The caretakers of the temple.
They barely registered, as you can tell.
I
yeah.
hated Rey. Every time she would do something,
But I felt that was very much like a George Lucasian, like alien species joke, like very mime, which is like.
it was a moment of lightness in what was otherwise a really kind of a depressing movie. Everybody's failing. It's so much fail.
Oh my god, the fails are everywhere.
Going back to Canto Bight, though.
Yeah,
since you
sorry.
started that.
Yes.
And since we derailed you.
No, it's okay. I just.
Took you off the track.
I understand the point of why ultimately that was there, but I felt there could have been a way to make that just pop a little faster, and I don't.
I thought about that.
Like,
here's the thing. Like, I love the Canto Bight thing. I feel like there should have been maybe like a little bit more disparity of like the 1% and the slave, the indentures, as it is in the book. Because I did read the book. Those people basically have to sell their kids into indenturement because they're broke in the casino.
which would also that could tie into Finn,
Right,
a little bit too,
right. But I felt like they were kind of, I don't know, like newsy poor.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, it actually does, kind of.
It's a hard life carrying the
it's
reins.
So
They're wearing designer rags.
right, yeah.
It's like very true.
So
oh my god, I can't get it out of my head.
So
That's gonna bother me after seeing the full time.
I'm sorry,
It's like fucking sing, you little newsy assholes.
but I feel like if they could, that section, I wonder, because the first cut of the movie was 3 hours.
Yeah.
And there's so much promotional stuff between books, toys, and everything that came out of Canto Bight that I wonder if that was bigger initially.
Jesus
So,
Christ.
Well, here's my point: is if they added more to that of them searching and actually going through the town, I would be on board. Like if you were to add, let's say, take a minute out of the farthings running away, trim that to about half, move that to the front of that scene to where they're searching through the casino. And like they're being chased by the cops in the casino, and they're having to dodge things out. They're having to, they're like having to, grab a hat for a disguise or something, kind of more Mos Eisley-ish of like hide out in a booth kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that could have fixed that a bit.
Well, maybe, and this is too maybe why they cut that down a bit is, and this goes back to sort of a wider thing. The whole scene really ultimately only serves as an example of Poe's poor life choices.
And in a way,
decision making.
But Finn's though too, because Finn and Rose both agree to take Benicio del Toro's character.
That is true.
Instead of going back for the actual Codebreaker.
And it basically shows. Well, they didn't really have much of a choice at that point. He came and got
Yeah, that is true.
But it also, I mean, basically that was to solidify Finn as no longer wanting to run away.
Mm-hmm.
That
I don't
force the end of his arc.
See, I had a problem with Finn. I didn't think he was running away. I really
think
don't.
he was
I mean, the way his dialogue came off is like he really was trying to go get Rey because in his mind, in my mind,
he wasn't coming back though.
I think he would have come back with Rey.
No, I think he would have ran off to protect Rey.
Which she would have not have needed and probably beaten him about the head
She
and
would
neck
have
for.
dragged him back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
We
I
are
agree.
going back.
Okay,
I
so
agree.
interesting little. Since we're all talking about this now, I feel that Rose's whole point in the movie. And this is, I feel bad because she then thus would fail the Turing test if this is correct. I feel that she is there to distract Finn from Rey and vice versa. Because I felt their chemistry was so good in Force Awakens that there was a spark there. Like, maybe it's just one-sided from Finn's side, but then at the end of it, she looks at Finn, and Finn is just all about her. And there's almost like a maybe I took Daisy's acting choice of that. She's kind of sad that Finn he's worried about her. I thought so too. And then it's just like, did you feel? And then she changes it to Luke because Leia sits down, and then you have that moment of they show that other shot too of Finn just leaning up to like, oh God, what did I do to... I took it as, what did I do to get her to fall in love with me? And I don't feel that way.
Ryan does a much better job than JJ when it comes to actually building romantic tension.
Yeah, well, the tension in the first movie, in my opinion, was just pure their chemistry as actors. Yeah. I don't think it was... So even JJ had no intention of doing that. Their chemistry just did that. This one, I didn't really feel the chemistry between Rose and Finn. I felt it was kind of...
Well, that's because it was one way.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I kind of go back into I feel it's one way.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree with that.
And it could lead to her emotional distress in the third film, which is she is torn between, you know...
Well, I don't think Finn felt that way or even realized she felt that way until she kissed him.
Yeah.
Right. No, I agree.
Because, you know, when you're running for your life the whole time, the last thing you're thinking about is, hey, that chick's kind of hot.
Well, I guess as a writer, because again, we all are creative people. When we watch these movies, which this movie completely fucked us on, which is they're going to do this and then that, and didn't do any of that. It's like they're going to do...
Which is why I loved it.
Well,
it's so hard for me to be surprised sometimes, and that's...
Especially in a movie like this.
Yeah, with Force Awakens, I'm like, oh, they're going to do this part, aren't they? Well, I bet Han Solo's going to die in the next 10 minutes. Yep.
So I guess that's my thing, is that when I look at that... My thing is like, well, why is Finn alive? I don't see any point creatively for why Finn would still be here. And I hate to say that because, matter of fact, I thought that was a boss way for Finn to have gone. But it would have been, which again, it would have been another failure because he has failed to learn what Poe learned at the beginning of the movie, which is your self-sacrifice does fucking shit. They're still going to get attacked by the AT-ATs and they're still going to lose casualties.
Right.
So
Speaking of failure, did those gifts take out anybody?
I don't think so.
Themselves?
Yeah. Like, I don't think they even took down a single tie till the Falcon came in.
I don't think so, yeah.
Oh, how the fuck did Rey get back on the Falcon?
What do you mean?
How did she get the fuck back on the Falcon?
Well, she was on the island.
No. No, I'm talking about after she fought Kylo.
That was a bit of a...
Oh, they made the cut. She took Snoke's shuttle. That's what... when Kylo gets up, he said, what happened? He goes, the girl killed her. And he goes, where is she? And he goes, she took the Supreme Leader's shuttle. And then she goes, the Supreme Leader's dead. And so that's what started that.
Okay. Well, all of that sort of happened, you know, in between cuts, I think.
Yeah.
Which is why it was so disorienting.
Okay, maybe it took me a second because I was like, wait a minute, because she was back on the...
When you got Hux's mustache twirling.
I'm sorry.
The Supreme
Leader's shuttle. Could you just say Harry Potter a few more times?
Which I love the fact that when Kylo's down, how he's trying to reach for his gun to kill him.
Oh my god!
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
The subtle,
just take him out now.
Everybody wants to kill Kylo.
Well, and here's the thing: I love Hux too because in the books, Phasma assassinated Hux's father for him. Because Hux's father was one of the founders of the First Order.
Is that why she has the fancy armor?
That's part of it.
She is the one stormtrooper whose armor actually fucking works. Yeah. What the hell?
That's because her armor is actually the hull from a cruiser.
Oh.
Well, maybe fucking take out some other fucking cruisers and apply it to the stormtroopers.
Hux, the senior, had his... when he escaped from the Empire, used Palpatine's pleasure yacht to escape from, which was Naboo Chrome.
Well, that makes sense.
Yep.
So that when he wrecked it, and whatever, Phasma made her own armor out of
her trophy.
Yes.
Okay. That's rad.
That is badass.
Oh man. Okay, so because we're not close to being out of time, but we are counting now. So I did throw some stuff out there to the interwebs. We got a comment from one person. Gibzilla on Instagram says her favorite part was Yoda, and he looked like puppet Yoda and not that horrible CG Yoda, which I agree. I did feel like for a second one of the close-ups, Yoda looked too like a newer puppet. And maybe it's just because of the weird hue. The Force washes you after like 60 years or however long Luke's been alive.
He paid extra for the Force wash.
He aged.
Paid extra for the Force wash.
Get the underbody coating.
When you Force Ghost, you age backwards.
60 years on a shelf. 6.
Also, Yoda with the jokes, as always, dead on good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He's like, page turners, they were not.
Yes.
And I love the hint that Luke might not have actually read them.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what?
When he goes, have you read them? He goes, yeah. A little bit of like, Luke, like, it's like oh, you didn't do your homework, Luke. You read the book? I mean, most of where the red fern grows.
Okay, so Woosley was originally supposed to join us tonight, and he had, I think, some kind of medical thing or something. So, but he sent me his thoughts, and he's like, Last Jedi looked great. I think a lot of us take Star Wars look and effects for granted, including Oscar voters. And he, I want to go a little bit more into this. You know what? I'll save that one last. Speaking of, wait a minute, no. Luke got some kick-ass time. I'm changing his wording a bit. Otherwise, why bring him back? Does he just get to kick ass in between Jedi and now, and we don't really get to see it? I'm glad Leia got to use the Force, because we didn't talk about... Yeah. I thought that was kind of laughable the first time I saw it. Just the way it looked. I thought there was a better way to shoot it with making it seem... Because I felt like, maybe it's just because how they did Pratt in Guardians of the Galaxy, of just... it was beautiful.
It felt stiff.
It felt a little stiff.
Yeah, she was covered in ice.
Yeah. Well, but I don't blame Carrie Fisher. It's part of the... Because I feel like a lot of stuff that Ryan did good as a director, that scene was not one of them. I don't know why, but it just felt really cheesy. I didn't mind the stuff, the close-up where it shows her hand moving, but then the whole scene, it felt like Christopher Reeve Superman, where all of a sudden she just goes dun 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 dun.
Yes. No,
that was my problem with it.
Now, can you imagine if John Williams put in a note from that theme?
Oh my god.
Okay.
It'd be over. I
think I said something to you about it, and I think again you were very tired. I thought it was you, but I was like, "Did you hear a theme from Jaws?" I thought I said to you Friday, but I might not.
I'm sure it was not me.
Okay, I don't know who the fuck I said it to.
Another theme he wrote.
Well, no, I love Williams, but he's to that age now where you will hear a lot of some of his themes in different ways. Like one of my favorite ones is Last Crusade. It's kind of like the Nazi dun 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 dun. It's the one they're looking for the Grail. He puts that in episode 1 where the droid army is coming over the hill, and I was just like, I love this. This is the greatest. Because at that point, I'm really just enjoying the music anyway.
Yeah, so it's so good.
But I felt like there was a music from when they're chasing the shark. With the barrels, something, there's hints of that, and I just remember I was like, oh, Jaws theme, not the theme. I'm sorry, Jaws music. But I thought the music was amazing either way, and I was telling you guys beforehand, I want to see it a third time so I can just focus on the music probably a little bit more.
I was listening to the soundtrack I got in the car.
Yeah, I have Apple Music, and so
today.
I was listening to the last. Well, in particular, I was like the Last Jedi, the final fight between Kylo and Luke. Yeah, like. I remember there being music up right when he starts blasting Luke to fucking shit with the AT-ATs. And then after that, after they meet each other, I don't remember any music after that.
I don't think so either.
And so, and I feel like, and you can kind of hear it in the music because it goes The Last Jedi, then was it Peace and Purpose?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then it just, but I feel like I was like, was there music during that? And so now I always want to pay attention to that because I feel that in itself is kind of beautiful. If Luke is a Force ghost dead, this is Woozy comments again, it disappoints me from an old Star Wars fan perspective as an old man perspective as well. I feel we got cheated of more time between Han and Luke and Leia as mature adults and adult relationships. Yeah, I feel that way too.
Yeah.
Also, if Luke is a Force ghost, I hate this trend that's been going on since the Rocky movies of killing beloved people to keep it interesting. Rocky 3, they killed Mickey. Rocky 4, they killed Apollo. Rocky 5, they killed Adrian. And almost actually every movie in Rocky, someone dies. Well, Adrian died in Rocky Balboa, which sits off the movie.
I think that they're using it for different purposes. I mean, it was okay, we've run out of ideas, let's kill someone. In this, they're clearing ground, basically. They're clearing space for the new generation. And they're doing it ceremonially almost.
And I get that. I guess touch on, because it has something to do with Luke, is what Woosley, and I'll get back to. Now, he did say, I did enjoy the new set of characters. I would like Poe to have more to do because I love Oscar Isaac, and I really enjoyed the Finn-Rose relationship, and I love Rose. If you
want to have some fun,
yeah,
follow her Instagram.
Yes,
her
it's pretty
Instagram
cool.
is just fucking joy. It is
she
amazing.
What was it? She got interviewed the other night, and she just started busting out in tears. She was so happy.
Well, she was out having dinner with her friend, and someone the next table came in, and they'd all just seen Star Wars and were talking about it, not realizing who she was.
Yeah.
And of course, she doesn't look anything like she was in there.
Yeah.
And so her friend just snuck her phone and was filming her while everyone else at the table next to him were talking, and she was just like. And so finally she just had to get up and walked over to him. She goes, "Hi, I'm Rose."
Nice.
And sat down with him for an hour.
Wow.
Wu says, I didn't have a problem with her stopping Finn either from finishing going into the canon. I still think his death would have been fruitless, like Commodore Decker in the Doomsday Machine, which is a Star Trek reference, crossing the streams.
Yes.
That's 3 technically, really, because that's a Ghostbusters
that
reference
is.
there.
That is.
Speaking of deaths, though, what's his name? Connolly, whatever, the guy with the dreadnought.
Oh, yeah. I always love when you give
face.
Yes.
Both times I saw it, I lost my shit when he sees that they're about to blow up from the bombers.
Yeah.
And his look on his face is just complete disgust and annoyance.
Well,
it's like the most British face you could ever see as someone who's about to die.
I kind of think
guess I'll just fucking die.
I kind of feel like it's the joke from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy where the other potted plant's falling. And it's like, oh no, not again. It's that kind of look like,
not again.
Yeah, but yours is actually good too. It's just like, oh, if I have to fucking die,
fucking kill.
Yeah. The battle after Snoke was killed was great, but I don't need to see another ultimate lightsaber battle or force battle. But granted though, if they all end up like the battle after Snoke died, I also retract this statement. And then he also said this is his favorite in the latest batch, somewhere in Sith's return in rankings for him. He is a prequel defender as well. Well, Sith defender. It's harder than with the first two, but that's for another podcast. Now, the thing I did kind of skip over because we've not really talked about this, and I hinted at it, which is didn't like Luke dying. Though, did he? Is he a Force ghost or somewhere else? I mean, he's Luke Skywalker. He's the greatest, right? And first time I saw it, I was tearing up. Second time, I sobbed. It was horrible.
My first time, I was like, oh shit, are they killing him? They're not killing him.
Yeah.
Oh good, he's not alive. Wait, no, is he dead? Did he die?
So
And then he faded away.
Here's the clue to that: is that the first time Kylo and Ren meet, she's like, "How are you doing this?"
Yep.
Because wait, you can't be doing this because if you're not that powerful, and even if so, you die.
You're not so powerful. The effort would kill you.
The effort would kill you, and so then and for him to put that much effort into like the gold chain and going out there and lasting as long, I'm just like, oh.
Which I'm curious if 3PO was about to spoil the whole thing, and that's why he winked at him.
Yes. That's a good point. That's a good point. Well, but C-3PO is a dick anyway.
Well, yeah, that's Mr. Luke, and he winks at him. Like,
Oh, yeah. Also, I did love I think everyone loved the joke where he's like, "Sir, the possibilities of you surviving this attack are 2-1."
Yeah.
Shut the yeah. Actually, someone in the second audience I saw was like, "Yeah, shut the fuck up, C-3PO." I was like, "Oh, this is a 920 showing, and there are little kids right there and there." Yeah, it was so good.
And when I saw it the first time, someone around me kept going, one.
One.
And then he said it, and then it went, yes. It was like under their breath. I don't know who it was, but someone was doing that under their breath near me.
One of the things as far as the deaths go, in both films, I mean, everybody knows that Harrison Ford has wanted to die since Empire in those films.
Yes.
But with both, I would say with both Han and Luke, I don't think they could have done better service to it. I think that if they were going to die for a purpose, then it was a good one.
Luke was the spark that reignited the rebellion.
Yeah, I know, and that's the thing too. And then the beautiful, and at that point, I feel it's kind of one of those things where I want Luke to live forever. And I agree with Woosley, which is someone who grew up with those, I want to see Han, Leia, and Luke go on adventures, and I want to see young, svelte Luke Skywalker as a Jedi badass.
Yeah.
Even before he became soured by feeling the hatred in Kylo, and then feeling, why am I turning my lightsaber to kill him? I shouldn't do that. That's not the way of the Jedi. And he turns it off. You know, matter of fact, I feel it's like an extension of him in Return of the Jedi, where he looks at his hand, and the only difference is he didn't turn his lightsaber on, or you know what I mean? Like he didn't turn it on as an act of aggression. He then just, or actually, no, I think he did have it on, but he looked at his hand, and then he just go. And the difference, though, is that you're turning it on as an act of aggression. It's not where it's already on and you're fighting an unstoppable evil.
Yeah.
You're thinking that, well, I can save Kylo, and then his hubris kind of failed. Well, his hubris was that he can turn it off and not get caught, and kind of, which is Luke's failure, kind of, which, again, point of the movie. But oh man. And then, but the fan service for me was they showed the 2 shots of the sun. Yeah. And then I was just like, oh, because the moment that Luke became Luke is when he looks at that sunset on Tatooine, and it breaks my heart.
So building on that, then, like, I know what obviously he's going for is there's going to be a death in the next one, probably.
Well,
or do you write her out?
It was going to be. Well, I think they're going to do a time jump. It's the only thing they have to. Yeah.
I feel like this series needs a time jump. I feel like we need a time jump to see where the First Order, because that kind of feeds into the whole how much time passed between the last episode and this episode. Because look, I've worked in shipping.
Yeah. I'm interested where this is going. Waiting for to
deploy, resupply, and get entire starships, which are the size of planets, across the galaxy, and loaded up, and people transferred, people moved around. There's a lot of logistical shit that had to get done.
Yeah, and you can kind of forgive it in the original trilogy because it's like they've been cooking for so long. They have it well oiled. First Order, I feel like, they're actually in the throes of an actual battle versus like slowly taking things over. It's almost like in Europe where it's like, oh, we're getting resistance now from the United Forces. So how do we? Or actually, it's probably even more World War I, probably, because the Germans didn't know how to fight on both fronts well. So then they started doing the meat grinder thing, which is, if you're going to die, we're going to take you with us, kind of thought process. That's a
not
little
to mention, who the fuck is bankrolling these guys? I mean, how do they go from losing like a death ball to just being able to just out there with their entire fleet? You know?
Yeah,
shipping aside,
that's true. I mean, and also, like, where is Snoke during all? Like, why was Snoke just like watching the planet blow up and just be like, it's like, that's my planet.
Well, it said he was on, and then it's like he never leaves his ship. So,
but I mean, like, but where's the ship in context of that? Because now it's like, now Snoke decides to show up because this time it's personal. No. Like, the Emperor was on. Okay, that does leave a question. Why wasn't the Emperor involved in the first Death Star? Like, because in the second one, but again, it just could be like, no one's going to stop me. I'm fucking the Emperor. You could go into that. It's his hubris that is also his downfall. Because in the second one, it's like, I can never be defeated. Skywalker will join, blah, blah, blah.
Speaking of his throne ship, did you see all the little notches on the back of it?
No.
Take a look at it. There's all these notches on the back of his ship that coincide where a Star Destroyer could park and dock.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's why I love my production design.
That's some cool stuff. I don't want to. By the way, the one thing I think I might have said, I was spoiled. I knew Luke was going to die because someone spoiled it for me, and it pissed me off. It did, but I was thinking about it was just making me cry. And in the movie, there's a point where I'm like, these people are full of shit, and then it happened, and then.
Well, I feel like that was one where it did go like you would think. I entirely expected him to die in this film.
Yeah, the AT-AT thing, I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, that's how Luke's... Actually, I thought, I was like, that's how fucking Luke Skywalker goes? I'm... Rage. And then...
Good like feelings the smoke clears and you see him and you're like,
yes.
I wonder... I wonder if Carrie hadn't finished filming, if they would have switched.
I thought she was the last Jedi, because that's a reference, I think, from Return of the Jedi. He's like, you'll survive. You'll be the last Jedi long after me. And I was like, oh, is that a reference to Return of the Jedi? And then so technically she is now the last one, because technically she's never fully embraced the Force like Luke has. So that could be, again, the new Jedi would be led by her. And I thought. Because they said that, like, this is Luke's movie, the last movie was Han's, the last movie would have been Leia's, and I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
Now it's going to be 9 nubs.
For fuck's sake. It's Finn, Rey, and Jesus.
Chewbacca just do a movie, right?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think it's going to be the Solo movie, which they had a poster for at Marcus. They had it just said Solo, a Star Wars story.
I'm hoping that with Lando coming into the Solo movie that he shows up. I hope so. And that's it. This is how I want the next one to start. Is I want a time jump.
Yeah.
And I want it to start with like the Falcon being chased.
Okay.
And Chewie's driving or whatever, and all the moves
and the Porgs. The Porgs are on there because.
And suddenly you hear
reading now.
And Chewie growls or something. You hear like Lando yell in the background, like, "Well, you fix it, I'll fly," or something.
That would be. Oh, see that would be good.
And then, you know where they're going, where they're having to escape to. It's Leia's funeral on the Alderaan space station.
Oh.
And it's on Life Day. Don't they know what day it is?
His kid, one of his kids, is in canon now.
Lando.
Chewie.
Oh, Chewie.
Chewie has a kid in Aftermath. In the third book.
Wow. Okay, we'll throw this out there real quick. Did anyone? I feel like you might have been trapped. Did you not like the Porgs?
I didn't mind the Porgs, actually.
Okay. I actually didn't. I thought they were okay. I thought they had
moxie.
and I didn't feel like they were overused, but I thought they were used just enough.
Yeah.
Just moments of lightness in what would otherwise be a really heavy movie.
I thought the Porgs would be more divisive for people, but it feels like the Farthings are. I've heard more people anti, the horses.
Oh,
than anti-Porg.
Which, I don't. I love the Porgs. Now, granted, those creatures, they felt like they were actually out of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Not just the casino itself. I mean, those in particular looked like... The aliens in the casino looked like they were from Star Wars, but the scene felt like it was from Harry Potter, like the way it was shot and whatever. Also, did anyone catch the Joseph Gordon-Levitt cameo in the casino? He was the alien that was like, they can't park there. They can't park there. Why are they parking there? That's Joseph Gordon-Levitt, which I was like, that's rad.
And was
really?
What's his face? Edgar Wright is one of the Resistance fighters.
I didn't see him. I saw Gareth Edwards because I was watching. I was like, that looks like Gareth Edwards is the director of Godzilla, but he also directed Rogue One.
Okay.
And
Edgar Wright, Baby Driver.
Okay. And really good friends with Simon Pegg and those guys. But the scene where the one general from Jedi, the big bushy white beard, goes out there, and that's the first clue that, hey, pay attention to the sand, because when you walk, there's a red footprint. And they cut back to the two guys holding the guns, and they're just like, it's salt. The other guy he's talking to is Gareth Edwards. I was like, who is that? Is that Gareth? No. And then I was like, it's Gareth Edwards. Yay.
Nice.
Supposedly James Corden's in the movie somewhere as a stormtrooper. But I was
Tom Hardy.
And Tom Hardy. But I was like, okay, Tom Hardy makes sense. Corden, bro, you can't fit into a stormtrooper. But I said apparently it's just his voice. Okay, it's like Kevin. It's like if I became a stormtrooper. It's very evidently me as a stormtrooper. I mean, Gordon is a little bit more svelte than I am. But come on, dude's going to be very stand out. It's like it's like a lineup of stormtroopers, and it's like it's going to be you, buddy. So I think
Leia will have a snark that little wide for a stormtrooper, aren't you?
Yeah. Also, I loved the dialogue, and Carrie Fisher wrote some of the quips in the movie. In particular, the one that's like, "Look, Leia, I know I've changed my hair." That was a Carrie Fisher original, and I was like, damn it, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought actually the whole I enjoyed the movie.
I really did.
I had problems with it, but so I guess we're at the point now where we wrap it up, which is we'll ask the hard question. I'm gonna try to get you guys to tell me in the order where do you think, and let's say the top 4, because I feel that would be easier. Because at that point we'll be like we'll forget what movies we did this last time. We started forgetting movies, and then when we did remember them, we forgot the order we had them in. AKA I did, Erik didn't. But so let's just keep it to 4 movies. What are our top 4 Star Wars movies? And if it's okay if it's not on there. It's okay if it's not on there.
4.
Okay.
5. 8. Rogue One. Jedi.
Oh, he's
3,
gone.
2, 1.
Well, yeah, he went for broke.
Force Awakens between Jedi and 3.
Okay. All right. Becky.
There you go.
I'm really buying myself more time, so I'll go last.
Right. I went all.
Yeah, you did, because you're pimp, sir. You're pimp. That's why.
Probably my favorites would be 4, 5, Rogue One, And then Force Awakens.
Okay.
For me, it's 5, 4, 6, Rogue One, and then Force Awakens and this are tied for 5th.
Okay. I'm the dude who always includes Return of the Jedi, then Empire, and then Rogue One, and then Force Awakens, and then I would then probably say Last Jedi. Force Awakens, I don't know why it edges.
So New Hope is that far down?
Kinda, yeah.
See,
it's a weird thing.
And that's one of those things. Like, for me, it's like, to me, Empire is the better movie, but it's there because of everything that was set up in A New Hope, and that's why I keep putting it. Yeah. That's why I've changed my order a couple years back to switch A New Hope to being first, because of all it laid this, samurai swashbucklers in World War II in space.
I like me a Muppet. And so, but look, all kidding aside, though, for me, the emotional payoff is in Jedi. Like, I know everything is built off of that.
And this is Jedi before the extra musical number, correct?
I prefer it. Well, here's the thing. 1, 2, 3, rah! Okay, but here's the thing. That was added in the first special edition, not the second Blu-ray special edition. So I fucking refuse to watch the Blu-ray special edition because I hate the no. Yeah, I understand that you're trying to make it make sense with Revenge of the Sith, where apparently Anakin likes to say no a lot, but you completely ruined that scene. The emotion, like, it's actually one of the few times that I think Lucas nailed the supposedly Lucas directed Return of the Jedi, even though he didn't. It's kind of like Spielberg directed Poltergeist, even though Tom Hooper did. I feel it's the...
You mean Tom Hooper directed Poltergeist, but really Spielberg did?
Right. Well, supposedly Lucas would visit the set and wasn't happy what the director of Jedi was doing, and so it eventually just became, I want you to do this, and the director was like, okay, do this. Yeah. That's how I've heard. And I've heard Spielberg kind of the same thing. So the imagery of just like, Father, please help me, and he's just silently, and just from the mask, you can see with the lightning flashes, you can almost kind of see Vader going, all right, I'm going to save my son, and just turn. And there's nothing set in the Blu-ray version of the special edition, which has the fucking horrible musical number. I don't love it, but it has that. I would rather watch the special edition with the musical number than with the no. I can't take it, because also, if I'm right behind you and I go, no, and you're just go, what, and just start turning around shooting me right away, and then I won't be able to pick you up and throw you.
Does he actually do the full-on where's Padme no?
Yes,
basically.
Basically, like literally, it's like if my back's to you, and it's like, and all of a sudden you go da da no, and I'm like during that whole thing, because it's like a slow build up, because it goes no, and then it goes dun dun dun. That whole time, Palpatine would be like, what are you doing, Vader? And they're just shooting him right in the face, and then his face is fried and he's dead.
What do you mean, no?
Yeah, and then Luke dies.
And that's exactly what we need, a recall to one of the absolute worst moments in all of Star Wars history.
You hated that.
Yeah, but he loves doubling down on the worst moments.
I do.
No, I meant Lucas.
Yeah, Lucas.
With the special editions.
I thought you were calling Return of Jedi bad.
No.
No, where's Padme? No.
Oh, no, that part is just god-awful horrible. Yeah. The music fucking saves that. Every time I start watching that scene, I just then, if I do watch that movie, I'll just listen to the soundtrack of that, where the music says everything. And, then if you think you're saved by them cutting to Padme, then you hear that weird fucking Zuba, Zuba, and they save the fucking babies. Weird. And then it's like, she died of a broken heart, Obi-Wan Yoda, and I'm like, fuck you, fuck that. What? No. I don't know. I have anger issues with that one, because I thought
we all do.
I think Sith is the better one of the three, but then when you get to that stuff,
not saying much.
I know.
Anyway. Every one of them's got a few moments.
Yeah. I will say, if you're going to mimic Carrie Fisher doing anything, doing Christopher Reeve Superman's not a bad thing to do in comparison to, the Zuba, she died of a broken heart thing.
If you're going to add another soundtrack into it, Krypton Fanfare is hardly the worst thing.
That is true. Is that what the track is called?
That's fanfare? The big fanfare part.
Yeah,
that's cool. All right. Well, that was our episode for Star Wars Last Jedi. Thank you all for listening, and this is probably the last episode for the year, and then I'll be back probably in February. So thank you all for listening, and we'll see you then.
Bye-bye.
Get out of here with that! about cheese! You're a creep! Go away! We're having a good time until you start up, cheapers! Go have some coffee with cream or something! Because I'll tell you something! This is a happy place!